Aloha, you beautiful sacks of mother fathers. Welcome in another episode of the Side Hustle Podcast. Here on, of course, all your streaming platforms. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. Kyle Cornell, Double A Anthony Alfred with you. Another beautiful episode planned for you today. A lot to get into. First off, Double A, how's your voice?
It's fine now. I'll let you know.
Lean in.
I'll let you know by the end of the show. You was telling me to lean in or the microphone?
Oh, my goodness. Well, at least someone listens to me. That's great.
Hold on.
He's having an issue now.
I should be okay. Look at this. Hold on.
It was perfectly fine.
It was perfectly fine doing our
We've been sitting up for like 45 minutes.
Hold on, wait a minute.
And, of course, this happens. This is
We're
hilarious.
gonna get a stand or something.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at
Pete's over here trying to help.
Pete stepping in.
We're not cutting any of this, by the way. This is all going in the podcast. This is great.
I promise I'm fine. Look, thank you, Pete.
Yeah,
I promise.
Reassure the people. Holy shit.
Man. So, happy May, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy May. Guys, that's the sign of things to come.
Came in like a lion. Hopefully he goes out like a lamb.
Man, we're not kidding. This thing did not move at all, ever. And then we start, and there you go. Anywho, I'm fine. I'm good.
That's good, man.
I'm good. Another muffin. You know, it's crazy. I've come to realize that spring in general sucks. Because the other 3 seasons make their presence known. You know about winter. You know summer. You know fall. Fall is still, a good time of the year. When spring comes, it's still snowing. And then out of nowhere, it's 85 degrees. And then I had a day, so I had to go to the office last week. I dressed, when I walked outside, it was 30 degrees. By lunchtime, it was 80. I don't know. Spring is terrible. Spring, I think May 1st, they should just say May 1st is the start of summer. May 1st, start of summer.
So obviously you hate mattresses then too, right? Since you hate spring so much.
Yes. Because they
I can make jokes without being inappropriate. This is great.
Because they wear down. They don't work at the moment you get the mattress. It loses value every time you sleep on it.
Now, speaking of wearing down and not working, do you have an apology to issue me at some point at the beginning of the show for the bullshit you spewed last week?
What did I say?
I mean, you control the editing, so I guess you can fudge it if you want.
What did I say? I will not edit this out. I will not edit the first 5 minutes of the show. What did I say?
So, Double A, of course, like I predicted, was riding high off of AEW Dynasty, and he told me they're gonna build on this. I got faith, and I told him you're literally climbing a ladder without any rungs on it. Like there's nowhere to go, except straight the fuck down. And it took us. We told you guys, and I'm going to officially apologize from my end as well. We told you we were going to both watch AEW Dynamite last week. We watched.
You're apologizing on behalf of yourself.
You're damn right.
On behalf of your heart.
Yeah. Because I gave it, guys, 11 fucking minutes. And you're going to see why later.
Yeah.
But I gave it 11 minutes before I was like, man, they fucked up the show. And then I watched the end of the show and the last angle on the show.
It's the angle they've been flying high about. I guess the most talked about angle in professional wrestling.
Yeah, all 670,000 fans that watched the show. Super. What were Raw ratings this past week? Anybody want to guess? 3 fucking times AEW's.
All right.
But don't forget, one's Pepsi and one's somebody else.
And it ain't Coca-Cola.
And it's not Coca-Cola.
You even say, like, is it New Pepsi or New Coke? What was the thing back in the 90s that didn't work out? That was New Coke.
New Coke.
New Coke.
New way to get high? No.
Okay, fine. I apologize.
You should.
I apologize.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to them. Look in the camera. You hyped everybody up. Psycho.
Put the camera on me. Give me a solo shot.
You need it. Look at that somber face.
Man,
Look at him.
I'm number one.
Hey, Pete, can you grab that crow? He's trying to eat some of it right now. It's a delicacy.
Make sure I get a knife too.
Whoa, easy. Okay.
No. All right. I apologize. I was wrong. I was in St. Louis. I saw a great pay-per-view. I saw one of the greatest matches ever, and I thought, hey, they have about 4, 5, or 6 different stories that they could lead with. They have a new world champion that they could lead with and do some things. And I try to tell my friend, my co-host, who I've known for almost a decade now, that it's time to turn the corner. And I laid it out. I put out my credibility, my wrestling credibility, to give this man a sales pitch on why it's worth watching AEW. And I said, give it 15 minutes. Give it 15 minutes.
I only needed 11.
So I apologize that company let him down. Most importantly, let him down.
Oh, I didn't.
Kyle, most importantly.
I never had any expectations.
Most importantly, let Kyle down.
You talk to our fans. They're the ones that get hyped.
And let you down. Let you down. I think look at that. Let you down.
There you go.
I've been looking at the Raw camera this whole time.
It's totally fine. It all feels disingenuous anyway, so it's no big deal.
I apologize. We'll talk more about.
Do we have to?
Well, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Later in the show, we're going to lead with the draft in a second.
Okay.
NFL
or WWE?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There was a couple drafts. I'm losing track.
I know.
NBA's in a couple months.
Right.
NHL was
2
close.
nights, by the way.
WNBA was recently, too. I don't know.
Yeah. WNBA draft. I got some thoughts on that. But
okay.
No, but we have something for all of you later in the show, because we do hear it like, oh, you're bashing this company just because. You're bashing this company just because. And eventually, maybe that's the case. But there's a thing, Kyle. You okay? Do you need water?
I was choking on that. If you didn't see how... Fucking stupid.
Can we save that for our highlights?
It's gonna be like the next QR code that plays on Raw. You have to really focus in on that one, because I could not fucking stop on it. I was pissed. Come on, Triple H. Give me like 3 seconds.
There's a importance in terms of knowing television and knowing how to write television. You can have the greatest roster in the world, and you can have the greatest potential storylines in the world. You can have the greatest storylines in the world if you love the storylines. If you don't know television, you will not get an ideal rating. If you don't take advantage of your lead-in, you will not get a sustainable rating moving forward on your program.
It's like having a guy that committed 45 murders. Execution. You need to be able to execute properly.
Got to execute.
Not with gas chambers or drugs, but with proper television writing.
Yeah.
I hate to draw the similes, but as we'll see later on in the show, the leader of AEW likes to draw stupid fucking similes, so this is going to be great.
Yeah, so we'll get to that coming up. Let's start, though.
Hey, that guy's from Cleveland. Not the other one, the other one. The one with the title on his shoulder.
The one behind me.
Well, he's from Westlake.
Westlake's own. By the way, I saw a Westlake couple on divorce court the other day.
It wasn't Logan, was it? Because he's getting married.
No, it was not. No,
like, not yet, please, no.
You always get excited with, like, you watch, like, daytime talk shows, and you actually see, wait a minute. And they give, like, the description of where they're from. Whoa! Westlake. Oh, he been going around. Oh, that dude been cheating. He's like, I want to keep you. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. Oh, okay. I know I cheated on you with 8 different women, but I want to keep you.
But this time's different.
This is different. I'm a changed man.
There's no pattern.
I'm a changed man.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm a changed man. I had some takes. I was supposed to do Voice of the Land.
Yeah, I know.
I had some takes to roll off. I had a Cavs take.
Well, because Jay called you and said, "Hey, AA, Fuck you.
He literally, he was like, he's like, nah, but dog,
They
that's
just
a no
told
for me,
they just
dog.
told me you're gonna host.
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. That's it. So
he heard your shit take from AEW last week, and he's like, I don't know if I can do
he
that.
didn't even watch wrestling, but he knew.
He knew.
He knew.
He knew. He's heard enough.
He heard enough.
He watched the Tony Khan interview and was like, "Fuck."
What the hell is
Oh
this?
my
He
God.
had no idea.
Fucking stupid.
All right, so let's talk about the draft.
Yeah.
So first off, just overall impressions. Just overall, there's some things to break down from the draft. But I think a few things that stood out. Obviously, not a ton of roster changes as far as like guys going. Although it's weird because, especially what happened on SmackDown, when you first watched it, and you're like, okay, Bianca's going to SmackDown. Oh, okay, Seth's going here. CM Punk staying on Raw. Drew McIntyre staying on Raw. This person is staying on SmackDown. And it seemed like, when you're really watching it, why are we doing a draft in the first place? It didn't seem like anybody was moving. But in total, there was some movement with the two main rosters, and of course NXT's involvement too, which we'll get to in a second. But your overall impressions of the draft after these 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what we expected, right? I mean, we kind of thought it was going to be tough because when you protect all your champions too, it's hard to really garner a lot of excitement. They have a lot of guys that are main eventers and girls that are main eventers that weren't champion, like Bianca, like Jade, that kind of thing. You know, Seth, Drew, CM Punk, like you mentioned. But the problem is they already have built-in feuds that we haven't seen come to fruition yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to have them be on the same show. Like Drew and CM Punk need to be on the same show. CM Punk looks great, by the way. Like,
yeah, he does.
He looks really good.
Yeah,
so
he does.
I think he's probably sooner getting cleared than we think. But nevertheless, they need to save that match for SummerSlam anyway. They don't need to tease it right away. Hopefully he stays healthy until SummerSlam. But, I mean, it kind of was what you expected.
We're going to have to talk about real quick with Punk. At some point, do you allow him to wrestle at all, even at live events?
You have to.
Leading into SummerSlam.
You have to, because if he doesn't, he's gonna go in like he did to the Royal Rumble and have basically one match under his belt. And you're putting a lot of plans on this guy. So he has to have the calluses in there. He hasn't wrestled very much the past year. If you really think about it. Like
a
handful of matches, if that.
It's
like,
hard. It's hard to.
Because he came back when Collision started, I think, in June of last year.
That's right.
And only wrestled a handful of matches there, and then had the All-In match, and that was it.
So we're 11 months in since 10 and a half months in since the start of
Bubbles feared for
Collision.
his life. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, Tony Khan's nickname, as you can tell by our background, Bubbles. Yeah, he's Bubbles now.
You brought up the champions being protected. I think everyone except the
women's tag.
Tag,
which makes sense now because they're probably going to lose to Jade and Bianca. So having them all together on Raw makes a lot of sense.
And I think it's smart too. Like, there's not that much depth with the women's tag team division. So
they're building it a little bit. I mean, there's actual tag teams.
I agree. I'm not saying
which is kind of cool.
I'm
Normally, there's nothing, right?
Right. I'm not saying
saying
it as a criticism. I'm saying
it
in terms of, well, if it feels needed that you could go to all three shows, even NXT when they need the pop. The champions being protected. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that it was all the singles champions. Of course, the first thing I brought up to you before we started taping, the odd like Becky and Charlotte exchange from a couple years ago. But again, that's why they renamed the championships. It's, you don't have, this champion's on Raw now, so they can't have the SmackDown championship anymore. They have to have the Raw title.
Which
they
didn't
matters anymore.
They didn't do it for a while. They would keep the titles on the people. Like I think Asuka was on SmackDown for like 3 months with the title. It's like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
It was annoying. And I was telling you about that because I was back. I was like, it's bullshit. Like,
yeah, it made no sense.
What the fuck are they doing with these titles? Like, just switch them. Same with the tag team titles. I'm glad they actually brought those back, too, the way they are now. Much better. I mean, but like I said, you already have built-in feuds, and they've mixed it up just enough to where you can obviously have new challengers, that kind of thing, and it makes sense and work its way through. The one I was surprised about was LA Knight staying on SmackDown.
Me too.
I thought for sure that he was going to jump to Raw just because, again, I don't see him on Cody's level yet. He can get there, obviously, over time with proper booking, something AEW doesn't know anything about. I don't care anymore. I'm throwing shots throughout the entire show, just like AEW does at WWE. But nevertheless,
they need one of these Prime bottles. They need one of those Prime bottles.
They need some pride, not some Prime.
I think they have the problem. The pride is not the problem.
The pride is staying.
The
the pride went to Raw.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They finally called him the Pride. How about that? Took a minute.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? I do agree with you on LA Knight, but I wonder. It seems to be like
you're gonna feed him to Cody at some point, maybe.
I don't think they're gonna keep him separate. I don't know if they keep. I know he's way over.
It screams U.S. title feud.
I know. It seems like. I'm not gonna say the writers have kind of cooled off on LA a little bit, but it's clear he is not at the apex that he was going into his. I think at Crown Jewel, the pay-per-view match against Roman.
Which is crazy. He won his WrestleMania match, but then he obviously went on to lose against AJ. There was some outside interference, whatever. I mean, but still, he has. I think he needs to win a mid-card title first.
Yeah.
And also
And he needs to make the belt. He needs to, you know, if he's gonna win, the U.S. champion, if that match is still there, let's say it's SummerSlam, Logan and L.A. You know, the match we thought we was gonna get at Mania. You get that at SummerSlam. He gets a big win here in Cleveland. You know, like you got to make the championship something. Like you got to put a stamp because again, right now I think things have cooled off with L.A.
Yeah, but like with Cody too, he's going to be busy for a while because I imagine we'll see how this AJ match goes on Saturday. I mean, I would think they'd want to run it back with another stipulation, whatever it is. But I think his first real feud is going to be important, like his first real feud.
Cody's.
Yes, and I think that there has to be. They've tied so much history into all of this, and it's going to be, I think, a little bit of time before the Bloodline get back into that picture. So having a guy like Randy just sitting there. Team with fucking Kevin Owens. Like, perfect time to have Randy flip over now, turn on KO, and basically go back to all that, and then look at Cody and say, okay, like, you know, I brought your ass here. I got you to where you were, where you felt confident enough in 2016 to leave. Now I'm gonna humble you. I'm gonna bring you back down.
It was about
that writes itself, and that gets stretched all throughout the summer into, you know, possibly a huge match at SummerSlam. If you can't get like a Cody Roman match or whatever it is, I mean, Cody and Randy is probably the next best thing. If Rock's not going to be around, possible because he might not be at SummerSlam. We don't know.
And Randy is over enough. He's earned that legacy.
Is Randy? Can he also present himself as a company guy with the Rock kind of in Randy's ear too?
He could. Very well.
Gun for hire, right? I mean, I'm coming in, I'm taking that because The Rock wants me to, that kind of thing, you know? I mean,
it's always tough with legacy superstars because if we had Randy Orton in the studio right now and we asked him, hey, would you prefer to be a babyface or a heel?
Oh, he'd say heel.
We all know what he was saying.
They all say heel because it's more fun being a bad guy.
And like, Randy especially.
You get to look at kids in the crowd and say,
boy. If Orton can have one more run, but it's as a heel.
Oh, he'll be around long enough to do that again. Yeah.
But the one problem that a lot of these legacy superstars face, because they're legacy, they're respected by the fans. So that's a problem in the sense of, well, if you're well respected, you automatically want to show up and cheer.
He's got to do some heelish shit then, right?
He
start putting some people in the head again.
Does he have it in him to do
Kiss Triple H's wife on the mouth.
Does he have it?
Do it again. She's back. She's around.
You got to do it like 5 times. And she can't like show up on Raw the next night.
I don't think they can do that anymore, especially with all the shit going on in WWE now. That storyline ain't going to work. Anytime they do any sort of like relationship angle now, I get kind of nervous because I'm just like, how are people going to take this? You know? It's so different than back when we watched in like the late 90s, early 2000s, all that stuff, with all the different like, oh, they're dating who, and the Matt Hardy Lita thing would not fly today.
Can't do that.
Can't do it.
This is a shame because, again, I have great reference of that storyline in particular.
We're going so off topic. The draft.
The draft was great.
Yeah, those guys.
The draft was
Yeah.
great. Patrick Mahomes was on Raw. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. He acted as a heel. Didn't matter.
Gave Logan Paul 3 of his Super Bowl rings.
Yeah. Didn't matter.
It's all good. JD went down and got punched in the head, and that actually made me pop when I saw that, when he took the towel off his head, and he was like, what's going on? What's happening? Is it bad? And Damian Priest's like, he's like,
oh, man. Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. Braun Strowman.
Nice.
Not a fan of Braun Strowman.
So this is only temporary. There will be things that take place here soon that will pull him over. I think that having him be draftable, they needed names in this draft too, right? And he's a former champion, all that stuff. So
I don't mind him being back. I just think Braun Strowman's a dumbass.
Wow.
I just think he's a dumbass.
I dare you to say it to his face.
I will do green screen.
One of the people I'm going to try and get on the show before SummerSlam or like during SummerSlam week is Braun Strowman, and I'm going to tell him, listen, I know you're on Zoom right now or they're not in studio, but just so you know, this guy called you a dumbass like 3 months ago. Why is he a dumbass? What did he do?
He's stupid.
Well, you're not explaining yourself.
I don't have to explain.
You tell me why
your homework. Do your research.
Is it because why? Why? Because he's country strong? What's the?
Why is he Well,
why is he attacking?
Why was he trying to attack Patrick Mahomes?
He wasn't.
He got in his face.
Yeah, because it was part of the angle, and then his lineman showed up, and the sad part is Braun's bigger than both of his fucking linemen too, which is hilarious.
And Casey still
need bigger boys than that.
Right. That was pretty funny.
It's true. They do.
And Casey still won the Super Bowl.
Shit.
Maybe Braun Strowman can play for the Bills.
Put him at the end. He's quick. I've seen him run around that ring.
Man.
Zoom.
Man. See,
why is he dumb?
You're the smarter one on the show. You pick a feud with Tony Khan, who's like this tall, and he's crippled now, and you do whatever you want. I pick a feud with Braun Strowman.
Well, so you're having Patrick Mahomes there. You want to involve him, right? Because he's the best player in the NFL. Right
Oh
now.
yeah.
So he's got to be involved somehow because again, you're drawing more eyes. It's NFL Draft Week 2, or it's the weekend Monday after the draft. So NFL's fresh in everybody's mind. The other company had a guy there, even though he was doing this in a neck brace, which you can't fucking do in a neck brace, idiot. But nevertheless,
all right, McAfee,
you got to get him. They were great with that, by the way. That was
fantastic.
Why the fuck is that guy moving his neck? It was hilarious.
I love their Mel Kiper. It was great. We got to find a Mel Kiper. We do draft coverage next year.
Mel Kiper for the WWE Draft.
Yeah, we got to. Actually, I didn't put that on the slide. They need a Mel Kiper.
They tried to get Booker T to do it.
Ah, man.
In the back, he was their analyst.
Yeah, they need a Mel Kiper to do. But one little note that I thought was interesting: Damage Control is on Raw. They split up Damage Control and Bailey. I thought they was gonna try to milk maybe Dakota Kai Bailey feud, but the timing worked out. The timing didn't work out.
Yeah, well, they're doing the Tiffany Stratton thing over there too on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. They're really putting her over big time.
Yeah,
and I told you. I mean, Io Sky is a good challenger for Becky. I mean, that's going to be a fun feud they eventually do at some point.
All of a sudden, the women's division over on SmackDown kind of there's some names now because you got Tiffany. They're Nia going over to SmackDown.
You have on the same brand as Bianca and Jade too.
On the same brand,
so that's going to be fun. At some point, I'm sure they're going to cross paths because she's going to try and troll and beat up the entire division, and those two are sitting there like, "Bitch, we can lift you with one arm."
And Bailey, and again, Bailey and Nia will be a fun feud in the summer whenever they get to it. That's going to be a really
after
fun
this pay-per-view.
Yeah, after the pay-per-view
or premium live event.
Yeah, after this pay-per-view.
You got to pay that much nonsense.
For it. After this pay-per-view, when they start that feud, I think that's going to be fun because you almost need to see Bailey. Let's see her face adversity. Obviously, away from Damage Control.
Yeah.
Now you got Nia. There are people who legitimately cannot stand Nia Jax.
I was in that camp 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even I think before when she first came back, I was like, And again, I didn't have a problem with her.
Yeah.
It was the fact she was hurting everybody.
I know. Yeah, this is
when
different.
you're not safe.
Yeah.
Like, it's a problem because especially in a women's division, you want to try and get people over. You want to make sure they can be there every week. You don't have the flexibility of having 10 or 11 guys that are all super over. Like every woman that, and it's not fair, but every woman that's on that show that's not a 4-horsewoman or like Jade or Bianca, who's just been pushed over so far to the point where everyone just loves her. I mean, not everyone has that. You have a lot of Candice LeRae's and Indy Hartwell's and those kind of level of girls that are trying so hard to get over. But again, it takes so much time. And if they're missing time because they're hurt, Liv Morgan, shit like that, this pops up and this is an issue. You can't have that happen.
But at least now the reason why certain people don't like Nia is because she's a fantastic heel.
Good. She played the crowd great on Monday. Like she played it because Liv was supposed to be, I told you, she's supposed to try and lean in slightly to the heel tweener. And they booed the fuck out of Nia Jax. Like, it was great. And she just ate it all up. She's like, fine, if you're not going to boo Liv, you're going to boo me. And then Liv adjusted too, making some comments when she's walking down, talking after she's like in between sentences.
Can we discuss real quick this little entanglement situation that's about to be forming over there?
I think we know Bo Dallas's first target when he debuts his Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
Dude, holy
talk
shit.
about who walked out of a certain locker room.
He's got a new mommy.
Oh, boy. Rhea about to be coming for blood.
I told you, man. I would not be surprised if this entire build-up leads to eventually getting... I know Liv and Becky have a match at some point. I don't think it's going to be Saturday, but I think it's going to be soon. I would not be surprised if Liv loses that match. You find a way to get her, or maybe she does win with the help of Dom. Because again, Judgment Day, they all got drafted together, but at the same point,
and they're keeping Dom on television, even though he has to have Tommy John.
Well, he said he doesn't need surgery.
Okay.
He came out and said, "I don't need surgery.
Okay.
Don't believe everything you see." So, even if he did, he's not a pitcher for the fucking Oakland Athletics. He's in WWE. It's a month and a half, 2 month heel time for him.
Right.
So whatever. I mean, he's not missing too long, but you can keep him on TV in the meantime, even if he did need surgery at some point. But I mean, she literally said, "I'm taking everything from you." If she takes Dom away, think about Judgment Day right now. Finn's in a weird spot. JD's obviously he's the black sheep. They hate his ass there. And Damian Priest is like, "I don't fucking need you guys."
Yeah, he's the world
champion. Pull Dom,
he'll retain.
Think about this. Dom is like the glue of that group right now. That Rhea's not there. You pull Dom out of that group, smoke. So when Rhea comes back, no Dom, no Judgment Day, no title.
Yeah.
Took everything from him. Long-term fucking storytelling. It's awesome.
And he said this about Rhea. Rhea is way over.
Yeah.
Way over.
She'll come back as a face.
She's already way over, but they try to maintain her. When you associate a magnet like Dominic Mysterio, she's a good girl that has a bad guy. That's with a bad guy. A bad influence. And all of a sudden, Dom couldn't contain himself with Bobby being gone for
he needed another
a couple
mommy.
Of weeks.
Needed a couple. That's going to be part of the.
Dom went to college. Dom is learning.
He took some extra classes in the pen.
He got some extra credit. He is learning.
So he's going to go with Liv. I mean, that's what it's going to be.
Ooh, and think about this emotionally too. He's injured, right?
She's comforting him, talking him up, like, "Hey, you are good." Like
Rhea's not there.
He needs
Rhea's
that.
not there at his time of need. This young lady is here at the time of need. They're sharing prime.
They're
backstage. I mean, get this right itself.
There are three points of this whole story arc that are awesome. One, it's going to get Rhea on her own, which is good because she obviously needs to be there. Her star is so big that it's nice to bring people along too, but she deserves a little bit of that solo limelight. Two, it's going to get Liv over.
Way over.
Having Dominic there with her as that heat magnet, her being able to lean into that heel kind of I don't give a fuck, mindset, hopefully as champion at some point soon too, is going to be awesome for her. It's going to build another star. Rhea's creating another star without even being there, which is cool. And for Dom, when all the shit hits the fan and he ends up not being with either one of them,
Yeah.
we get Dom by himself, which is awesome because he's been building towards this moment where it's going to be Dominic Mysterio, rising star main event talent, as opposed to Dominic Mysterio. He's just Rhea's bitch. He's part of that. It's literally the same route. Some people aren't going to like this. Maybe Chavo, that Eddie took in WWE.
Liv's gonna
literally with China and all that stuff.
Liv's gonna use Dom. Oh my God! Yeah, you're right. He's not gonna end up with either woman.
That's the end game.
He's gonna beg for Rhea when she comes back.
No, so what happens is he'll be with Liv, and they're gonna do kind of like the Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar thing. With like the whole like, I want to come back with you, and don't be surprised if he ends up helping Liv beat Rhea at like SummerSlam or something like that, and they may be together a little while longer, but then something's gonna happen where Liv's gonna be like, I don't need you. I was using you. Rhea's in the rear view. I'm good. I don't need you anymore. Because that's gonna be her attitude at that point. She's gonna be so far down that path.
Man, having it hard out there these days, man. But he's still a boy. That's the difference.
He ain't a man yet.
He's still a boy.
I turned him into a man.
Dom Mysterio's still a boy.
When you'll be a man, you're like 27.
See, Rey Mysterio should have been teaching him all these things. JBL's right. Rey Mysterio's a terrible father.
JBL, of all people, should not be calling Rey a dad.
Rey Mysterio's a terrible father.
Like
Rey should have been teaching Dom all these things. Dom has to learn all these things on his own.
Okay.
He has to learn on his own.
I can't
Where's
wait.
Rey? Oh.
They're on the same show now. They can make it happen.
Oh.
They should do counseling. Dr. Shelby, where you at?
The 20th person to turn on Rey Mysterio.
That's actually a really good angle.
Oh, that's a damn good angle.
If they did like counseling with Rey and Dom, they brought back Dr. Shelby, who did Daniel and Kane. Yeah,
that would be great.
That's how you get to another match, maybe with Rey and Dom, or maybe they eventually get the tag titles back. I don't know.
They could be the tag team that comes together.
Because LWO is going to fall apart, I'm assuming, at some point.
Oh yeah.
With
I wouldn't be surprised if Zelina turned on Rey Mysterio at this point.
And she'll yell at herself returning.
Man.
You have ways to try and make the draft more fun, entertaining, right?
Well, as newsworthy as the draft was, my criticism of the WWE draft in general is not necessarily the picks. I thought the picks were efficient.
But they're going to be.
Yeah. The problem, last Friday and this past Monday, I'm watching the draft. I'm looking forward to the draft. To me, it felt like the wrestling was in the way. It's a wrestling show. This sounds stupid because it's a wrestling show.
But you built your whole thing around the draft, not having matches during it, so it's.
It felt like
and
this has been a problem with the draft for years. When they have the draft, it kills the flow of the show. I would not, if I was attending SmackDown or Raw, I would not want to go to a draft show because the matches, it almost seems like they're in the way. So
they're filler in between picks.
Exactly. So it felt like SmackDown. It felt like a real draft show, sports draft show
with the sound effect that they ditched in Raw because people.
And then Raw, other than the Punk McIntyre angle and the Mahomes angle that we talked about before, it felt like kind of an Oscars type show. Like it really, again, it's like they're doing two different shows at once. I think it killed the flow of the show.
Right.
Excuse me. So let's
see what you got.
So I have here how I would fix the WWE draft. And I think there's some ideas that we saw earlier this year that it kind of inspired. And I think there's certain things based on the real NFL drafts, NBA drafts, where things could actually legitimately work out.
Could you imagine like Drew McIntyre just walking on a draft stage, putting a hat on?
So
what the fuck?
So you see here, you'll see here. So make the WWE draft its own primetime special on Peacock or Netflix, YouTube, whatever.
That'd be cool. I like that.
Make it its own thing.
Make it like an hour-long thing
where you can sit there and you can just enjoy the draft, and you can still promote hey, this Friday we got SmackDown.
And make the rosters lock in after the draft.
Right after the draft. You can
time it to where it does that properly. I love that. That's good.
Set up the stage like the NFL draft.
Losing me there a little bit.
But let me explain it real quick here. So the NFL draft now, you can either do the NFL draft where they have the outside set, or you could do the NBA, how it used to be in like New York City, have like a smaller sound stage. You can invite a few fans, you know, 500 people, whatever.
No, you should just try and sell an AEW arena.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can get 5,000 people to go to the draft.
yeah. But and I think this idea will work for two reasons. Number one, the energy we saw here in Cleveland when the NFL draft was here, we got robbed because of the pandemic. But Detroit, Nashville, those cities, they were able to pack, on an outside soundstage, pack a ton of fans just to have the draft just there. I think people will just be excited if your superstars are there on stage. They're just there. And we saw with the WrestleMania kickoff thing in Vegas, fans were just excited to see their stars there. You didn't care about anybody wrestling. You didn't care about The Rock or Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes. You didn't care if any Roman. You didn't care about any of them wrestling. They was just there, and that was exciting to see them there, to hear them talk, to get the crowd involved and things like that. So I kind of like that. I think you get good energy there. The third thing I have here, kind of nitty gritty stuff here. You can split it into 2 nights.
Yeah.
You could do, but here's how you would do it. You would be able to do night 1 is your main, let's say top 30 wrestlers. And the way I would execute this, you would have, excuse me. The way I would execute this, we got to keep track of the number of coughs I have on this show today.
Too many.
Right. What you would do, I would assume, let's say, the top 30 wrestlers is in the pool on night 1. And literally, you could do a draft. You could have a full, sports breakdown. Time it however you want. But you could literally ping pong and be like, all right, SmackDown has the first pick. Nick Aldis comes out. And then Adam Pearce comes out right after. Thank you, Pete. And then comes out. Wow.
He just can't reach for something without knocking shit over. He just can't help himself. Yeah, he's mid-talk.
What the hell's going on today? Give me a second here.
It must be the heat. It's so hot in Cleveland today.
Hold up, fans. Hold up.
Jesus.
Give him my sales pitch. I need a clear voice here. Give me a second.
Well, you're really going to town on that water.
It's the start of summer. Not officially.
Yeah, well. June 21st. June 20th.
May 2nd. But so imagine, is Raw going to pick Bianca Belair first? Are you going to pick CM Punk first? Are you going to pick, whomever first? Seth Rollins. Can Roman Reigns actually withdraw himself from the draft? That was a cop-out, by the way. Can they do that? You could actually hear McAfee and Corey Graves and the panel, whoever, actually discuss who is actually the first pick in the draft. And leave it all out there. And who's legitimately treated like sports. So that's what I'm angling for.
Yeah.
You can iron out the details or whatever, how many minutes, fine. But actually position like sports. And I kind of already alluded to the fourth thing already on the list. Promos are trash talk only. Promos are trash talk. I think the WrestleMania kickoff thing in Vegas proved that this style can work with fans, where you literally could sell an event and just be like, hey, your favorite stars are going to be there. You want to know if they're going to Raw or SmackDown. They're going to show up. They're going to do angles. Actually have the wrestler go on stage when they're drafted. It's wrestling. Put on the T-shirt or do the baseball cap with the logo on it and actually go through the whole thing. Have Jackie Redmond interview the person who was just drafted. Have war room reports. Things. You go all out with this fake format. But the NFL knows, I guess the theme of today's show, the NFL, they know television.
Yep.
They know TV, and they know how to draw things out. So instead of getting high ratings for Raw and getting a pretty good rating against the NFL draft for SmackDown, you mentioned the key part. You lock in the rosters right after the draft, and then voila, we're off and running.
So can I go down your list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
and please take your time because I need some time.
I need some more water, yeah.
Excuse me.
There you go. So the first one, I love it. Makes a lot of sense. Make the W. Can you keep up in a 2-shot too? I know he's drinking, but it's fine. He's gonna be doing that the rest of the show. But it's totally cool. So make the WWE Draft its own primetime special. That's perfect. Like on a Wednesday, ironically enough, you could probably do that. Yeah, get more views on the draft than fucking Dynamite. Which that'd be hilarious if they did that. Troll them.
Tony.
Bubbles, Bob. All right, yeah. Do that. I love that.
We're gonna stick with that. I like Bubbles. So we're gonna stick
great.
with that.
Actually, you know what? They should do it on Netflix so they get more people viewing a stream than they do actually watching TV. That'd be fantastic. Love that.
Streaming's killing cable.
Number 2, the setup stage for NFL draft. I told you the thing I would do in this situation
Okay.
is have everyone in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
Sitting like NXT had them when everyone was sitting together.
Yeah, I love the NXT thing.
That was great because it felt like, holy shit, it's a big moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So having some sort of that, you can still have the stage too, I get it, especially if you have fans there to come out and obviously do that. The split into 2 nights, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
What I would do is have an hour to 2 hour draft special,
Okay.
right? Let's say each brand gets like you said, like 15, 16 picks, whatever it is. Afterwards, exclusive to social media partners, X, whatever it is, supplemental draft. That's where the rest of all the pieces fall into place.
That's a good idea.
Now,
I like that.
you can do that on a certain night. What I would do then to get NXT involved is after you make your selections, each general manager can only have 10 picks on their rosters that are safe. NXT then gets 5 selections. They can take any of the unsaved wrestlers they want and bring them down to NXT.
Hold on, run that back. 'Cause I think you're cooking here. Run that back.
So you have your draft, like we just mentioned, whether it's the way you have it or the way I kind of explained it. And then after the rosters get locked in, which would happen as soon as the draft is over, the next NXT show, there is a supplemental draft. And NXT is allowed to pick 5 superstars. The only caveat is, from either Raw or SmackDown, each brand, the general manager, Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, whatever, whoever they are at that point, can only make 10 superstars, both male and female. That's it. 10 total on their shows safe. So on Raw, Adam Pearce can say, oh, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and the champions will most likely be saved as well. So automatically, that's 4 or 5 picks that are gone.
Yeah.
So you're kind of looking at it like maybe there is a Kevin Owens that gets left out. Maybe there's certain female superstars that get left out. NXT can be like, we want them.
Yeah. Ooh.
They get 5 picks to bring back down to NXT. That's how you get viewers on CW. It's how you get more younger talent over by getting some more exposure. And with some people, maybe, who knows, maybe one year it's like Randy Orton wasn't saved. All of a sudden, Randy goes to NXT. Holy shit. Like, that's a holy shit move.
Yeah, it is.
That is nuts. Like,
yeah, it is.
He obviously...
And he's mixing it with the younger guys.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that gives a reason to why, NXT works as the third brand, but it keeps its identity as...
developmental.
Yeah.
Because you're able to do that and have it make it feel more like...
I like that idea.
Like you really believe in NXT as opposed to just saying you're going to do a few things or whatever it was. It's kind of a way to build them up too. If they're really going to be presented as that third brand, that third show, it's a way to do that. And I love the promos and trash talk too. That's great. Also, picks per round, especially if you're going to do like a live thing, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And also, do you know what? I like the fact they brought back legends, obviously. I'd rather have those legends on a panel, like you mentioned, having them break down picks. But Triple H should be the one walking and delivering the picks.
Yeah. So
he should be the one. He's the face. Roger Goodell, Adam Silver, whatever. He is the current leader of the brand.
Yeah.
He needs to be the one making the selections. He can.
My only objection with Triple H, he's not hated. So in a draft scenario, every commissioner is hated. He's not hated yet. He's not going to get booed. This is where you needed McMahon. This is where you need Vince McMahon.
Bring him back
he
to that.
would have got booed.
No. So I have a thought here. A way to do this is Triple H comes out, but then he announces someone's going to help me make this pick. Here to help me with the first selection in the 4th round for Raw, Dominic Mysterio.
There you go.
You could do his guest selections. That's where you can bring out legends too. But Triple H should have his face on this.
Yeah.
He should be front and center for it.
It's a Triple H operation.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
That would
That's
be
how
nice.
you can keep the draft
There you
on like
go.
a stage, that kind of stuff too. And again, promos and trash talk. Like, okay, so they did the draft, but they have these championship matches coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So you could still have, hey guys, quick break from the draft. A little different than normal, right? But we're actually going to have someone come out and talk to you right now. He's staying on SmackDown. He's the current WWE. Like, you can do a thing.
And you could also do, so the angle that I did like from the draft, I like how they was like, oh, the bloodline hasn't been selected yet.
Yeah.
McIntyre or CM Punk was drafted before McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull McIntyre out and be like,
what's going on?
yeah.
Make it like a full, have the green room in the back.
Mm-hmm.
McIntyre's just sitting there like this. when he gets picked, when CM Punk, he's like, you could do shit like that, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah.
And you can keep your wrestling shows. Your wrestling shows to build angles, but this can be like supplemental to all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it really, give it the platform, because the Raw, the ratings went way up.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown, I'm pretty sure, was still pretty up too. Like, it's one of those things where you can capitalize on that, and I'm sure after seeing all the NFL draft stuff again, maybe it's in their mind to do something like that.
Well, and they plan to have, they did this on purpose to have their draft, WWE, same weekend, same time as the NFL draft, kind of to have that in their mind. And there were some elements that worked with this, the war room in the back, having the legends going, having members of the Dudley Boys in opposite war rooms, which I thought was pretty cool. And, little things like that. So Triple H putting a stamp on his first WWE draft, I love, like, the execution that they have. I just think after what we saw with that WrestleMania kickoff show and how that really launched probably the best WrestleMania ever, how it all started with just a stage show in Vegas that didn't sell tickets. They didn't even announce the event until like 2 days prior.
Yeah.
And it did as well as it did. I think a draft of this format, I think it would do a great job. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Let us know on social media. Let us know if do you like a separate WWE draft. Let us know your ideas. I think this would be great.
The cool thing about this is too, is as we've noticed with WWE recently, which hasn't been a thing for a long time, open to change, right? Open to doing things a little bit differently and finding different ways to do certain things that maybe you could get better response or a different response or whatever. I mean, having the wants to try something new, whether it's a camera angle, whether it's some of the theme songs suck now. Some of the changes, like Braun Breaker's new theme song. His original one in NXT was fucking awesome.
I
and
think
they ruined that.
I think that deal's up at the end of the year.
Oh, with what's it?
Def
Rebel or whatever.
That's up at the end of the
Thank
year.
God. Like, I almost want to find Jim Johnston and dig him out and throw him back in the
Unfortunately, Jim Johnson, I think, is like 73, 74.
He can still
but
strum
there's a musician. There's somebody out there who can do music.
Yeah, just my God.
Somebody.
I'll fucking make the theme songs.
Oh my goodness. We have a drum set here in the studio. We could try somebody out.
And again, see, so like I said before, just because we're very critical of AEW doesn't mean we're not critical of WWE too.
I mean,
the new
my
theme songs.
goodness.
Did you hear Randy's new possible theme song?
Garbage.
It was bad.
Trash.
He killed that shit right away. The problem is Braun Breaker can't do that because he's not Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Randy's like, I'm not fucking coming out to that. Keep my song. What the fuck? Why would change is good, but not people love my song. So,
speaking of which, we'll go through this quick here.
Yeah.
This partnership will continue.
Good.
This will continue. Drew McIntyre.
He had a Goldberg take about it.
Will be with WWE for multiple years. He actually mentioned in his tweet that it was Triple H who saw the vision with him back in 2017, and the amount of growth that we've seen, and we even saw a video of The Rock several years ago when he was asked who in that locker room could be a breakout star, and Drew McIntyre was the name that The Rock brought up. And Drew McIntyre, obviously, he put it together ever since he stepped back into WWE, he's put in work at TNA, but he put it all together, did work in the pandemic. But we have chronicled ever since day one of our podcast what he has been able to do in the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months. They had a mission to keep this guy at WWE
successful,
and they have done that.
And rightfully so. I mean, he's going to be one of the highest paid people there for a good reason. Dude's been killing it, and it's not going away anytime soon. The attitude he's brought, and I told you, the reason why he was the most over heel in the company. Stop dropping shit. Jesus. I had double A last week. Fucking finish my thought.
That's what I get. That's what I get.
Anyway. Fuck.
I think my mom saw that too.
Mrs. Alfred, I want to apologize for your son just completely losing his shit last week. All right, it's insane, but nevertheless. Yeah.
Yeah, worked it to a shoot. Keep this up. It sound like Regis. Go ahead. Keep going.
That guy did. I'm not Kelly. Fuck you. Pizza eye candy. Anyway, no, it's good for WWE. It's good for Drew. There is no other viable alternative to go where you're going to be presented the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could have went to AEW and floundered in a feud with the fucking Bucks and Omega, who is he going to wrestle soon? I don't know. I think he took Tony's place as the authority figure, from what I heard. I didn't watch it. Go fucking figure. I gave it a chance for 10 minutes and it burned my eyes out of my fucking skull.
Again, still to come. We'll get to it where they went wrong
shortly. Very shortly.
We'll get to it shortly
because I don't want to talk about it forever.
We're not going to spend much time on this.
It's cool. It's cool for him to get recognized.
This is what needed to happen. We mentioned a couple weeks ago, we had the 4 names, including MJF, Becky, and Sethel.
You had Drew jumping ship, I think.
I did. I thought.
So he was wrong twice.
No, I
apologize again.
I'm not apologizing for that one. That was an educated thought. No, you know what? I thought AEW was going to make a stronger run at him. I was wrong there.
Their owner's a little busy getting pile drive in the ring and saying some things on the air he shouldn't.
Yeah, their owner can't.
A little distracted.
Can't turn his neck like Triple H can in this photo.
And Triple H doesn't have a neck, so that should tell you all you need to know. The thing has been
point.
gone for years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But the traps, legit.
Still ripped.
Yep.
Still. By the way, Triple H, you're an executive. Button up your shirt. What are you doing?
Come on, it's Triple H.
You are Paul. You are Paul. Paul, button up that shirt.
Leverque. This fucking guy.
Oh, hold up. Can I do?
What a screen. What to go from such professionalism to such bullshit in one little fucking click of a button.
One more time.
Holy shit. Look, 2 professional stars in the industry working his way through. One guy who's already been there. Then, ass clown. As
literally
one of the
not even joking.
As one of the people in his promotion would call him, a fucking ass clown.
Hold up, I have to ask Pete. When you see this photo, what's the first thing that jumps to your mind when you see this photo?
We're gonna ink block you.
I don't even know, honestly, but ass clown pretty much sums it up.
This guy doesn't.
I don't know if I could put it better than that.
So Pete, you guys know if you watch the show, Pete does not watch wrestling. His exposure to wrestling is the hour and a half we spend with you once a week, right? That's his exposure to this.
We always joke that we love talking wrestling with people who don't watch wrestling because I think we get the most entertaining comments.
Yeah, and we try to be entertaining with it too, right?
You know what? He actually looks like a guy that is suing a wrestling organization because he tried to do something at home and got injured.
That's true. That's true.
It's like he meandered out of his mother's basement to try and go through a table when he ended up breaking his fucking neck. That's what it looks like.
This is gonna sound.
Jesus Christ.
This is gonna sound very off what I'm about to say because the entire basis of pro wrestling is scripted. He looks like a guy that's trying to play an injury on television.
Not a guy who's hurt.
Not a guy who's hurt. You get my drift? You get my... I know... if you get it, you get it. Like it's yeah. If you're really, and you mentioned it earlier, McAfee. If you have a neck injury,
It's worse when he's in the corner.
if
It's
you're
so much
hurt,
worse.
courtesy of NFL Network, by the way,
yeah.
if you are hurt, you can't be turning your head.
I'm pissed because I left my sunglasses in the car. There's normally a time where I go on a rant. But nevertheless, I get to do it without the sunglasses today. First things first. If you
Rest in
hurt your...
peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
For real, you're the only father ever. Okay, I'm sorry.
Get my bitch pregnant, I'd be a better you.
Hey,
All right, We can't go J. Cole anymore. He apologized to another rapper. Apparently that's Satanist. But nevertheless.
Apparently, it's Kendrick and Drake. It's going down.
Okay.
I haven't.
Meet me in the club. Oh, sorry.
Going down.
Meet me in the mall.
It's going down.
Anywhere you need to guarantee it's going down.
Give me them ratings. It's going down.
Yeah, fucking. I want to fucking yeet on fucking his neck.
One ratings. It's going down.
It's big time.
Go ahead.
The number one way Tony Khan could have sold this injury in this stupid fucking angle that was on Dynamite last week, not, of course, the show you saw yesterday, but the one previously, don't even fucking show up. And have them feed a line in saying, well, Tony Khan was supposed to be here tonight, but unfortunately he suffered an injury at the AEW Dynamite taping. It's professional wrestling industry that Tony Khan started 5 years ago. They're mildly successful. They could play it up and say they're successful, whatever it is. Feed them lines that say you got hurt on your wrestling show. Wait, the owner, one of the guys that leads the Jaguars is on a wrestling show and he got hurt? What the fuck was that about? You can almost draw more attention without even being there than by doing this. Number one, that's the first thing. Second thing this fucking ass clown did on the air was make a comparison that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard, to the point where the NFL Network people pretty much had to say, hey, we're wrapping this shit up. Their reaction's priceless. We were going to have it for you, but Double A fucked it up. It's his fault. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
You already saw it.
You probably already saw it because it's full of shit. And both companies, WWE and AEW, everyone in them thought this was stupid. When Tony Khan said that AEW is Pepsi, that's what he said. AEW is Pepsi, and that WWE is Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I'll read you the quote real quick. We're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW is like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE is like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. And you saw in the clip NFL Network, they gave him this airtime. All right, it's okay. It's a cool story. We'll give you the airtime. Right as he said the Harvey Weinstein thing, you see both football guys who cover the draft and cover football. You know, they're trying to stay up to date on the Browns and everything else that's going on across the NFL. You can hear it in their ear, like you can see it. Like even we've been in the industry for a long time. We know.
Yeah, wrap it the fuck up.
Like it's not even like a you know, like I used to say, like Ken and Lyman, like, oh, they ran over by a minute or two or whatever. Like, let's wrap this. Backstage, like,
can I make a request? Can I make a request?
Go ahead.
Can we get another eclipse? Because I want to stare into the fucking sun and risk the possibility of being able to ever see my own son again, instead of having to look at this guy's fucking face anymore. Like, it is ridiculous. This whole thing is fucking stupid. The fact that he called WWE competition, it's not. It's not competition when you're getting your ass kicked. The Pepsi comment is because of CM Punk, because he can't let go of the fact that someone didn't choose him. That was there. They were also taking shots at Cody, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, all he did was put you guys fucking over, right? And say how great of a place it was and how much he has friends there. And just, hey, two different directions, no big deal. Still have love for everybody there. But you threw him under the bus, too. No big deal, just more good publicity for Cody.
Cody
is the star of the other promotion now.
And Cody's too good of a guy.
He's not going to do it.
To even muscle.
No. Why would he? He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Point proven. We know why Cody left. Because of that fucking idiot. I'll say it for him. This fucking dumbass. Look at him. Look at his stupid face. Look at him. Right there. Look at him. Bloodshot fucking eyes because he stays up all night reading his fucking chat rooms. Loser.
Does he even know who they picked at pick
Probably
48?
fucking not. Probably
Does he
fucking
even know
not.
who Jacksonville actually selected?
I'm not even sure he knows Jacksonville's in Florida at this point. Fucking dumbass. I swear to God. And you know what? I get it. Me saying a lot of this stuff obviously like hinders our future ability to get some actually talented people on the show that work for AEW, which is unfortunate because our goal is to get more guests at some point down the road and be able to get people to come in and talk to them about that. And they're gonna see AEW's, if they even have a fucking team that watches social media.
Oh,
anymore.
they have a team.
If it's not just one person that just scrolls
They
through
have
bands,
a
everything.
team.
Either
This is the same team that took down security footage that
you
they
posted
aired.
it. You
That
fucking,
they aired.
You
Then
aired
they
it on
took
your
down.
national television show. You fucking idiots. God, so stupid. Just so dumb. Like it.
Can I do this one more time?
Professional. Click it. Idiot.
One more time.
Professional. Ass clown.
One more.
Solid. Fucking stupid son of a bitch. Like just the fact that no one's been able to get into this guy's ear and tell him like, dude, you're fucking crashing and burning this show. And the fucking Turner says we're doing great, and they're happy with their reaction.
But here's the thing.
What are
Kyle.
they supposed to
no,
say?
No. But here's the
They
thing.
don't know shit about fuck.
But damn. But here's the thing.
When it
though.
comes to pro wrestling, they don't care. They don't know.
I think though, because I saw this. I think that when you listen to your core fans, right? When you listen to your core team,
Dave Meltzer.
and they think all this is great.
No, Dave thinks all this is great.
But that's the thing, though. If he listens to Dave
That's it.
more than anybody else, then none of our opinions matter.
It's not going to
And
change.
that's the thing. He's not looking at the viewership numbers.
No, he's not.
He's actually blinding himself from watching the viewership numbers because Dave is telling him that he's doing a great job. All of this. Oh, they got you on NFL Network. You're in the draft room. You sold a neck injury. People are talking about you. But here's the thing. Just because people are talking about you does not mean they want to watch you.
This is again a thing where we're going to see the ratings for Dynamite when they come out. I can't imagine they bounce back that much. They'll probably get a bigger number.
They had
easy for me to say.
All joking aside about what I said last week, they legitimately had 4 or 5 big stories that they could have led with, that could have dominated their show, and we might as well just get to it.
Show them. We broke this shit down. Well, I should say Double A did. I didn't have the fucking time or patience to do this stupid shit. But he did it.
So
God bless your soul.
So we just happened to tape last week before Dynamite. And I'm like, okay, let's put it on. We'll watch live because I gave Kyle a phenomenal sales pitch on why you should tune in to AEW.
If you missed the apology when you're done, feel free to watch the beginning of the show again.
So this is television. So AEW Dynamite, and we mean Q1. If you don't know, that's quarter number 1. That's from 8 o'clock to 8:15.
Mm-hmm.
So as we all know, their lead-in is The Big Bang Theory. Big Bang.
Dedicated audience. Everyone watches it.
Comfort
show.
It's one of the shows. If it just happens to pop up on your TV, I don't have anything else to watch. Okay, fine, I can watch Big Bang Theory.
People also just love the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So you have the lead-in. The whole point of a lead-in is to build on the lead-in. Okay, if Q2 drops a little bit, then it's supposed to, at some point, when it gets to the top of the next hour, which would be Q5, it's supposed to pick back up. So we did a breakdown. So you open your show with likable characters. Just because the Young Bucks had a great match, they're not likable. They're not likable.
You open the show with stars.
You open a show
with people that are over.
With people who the fans and new fans actually want to see. I don't know. Your new world champion. I don't know.
They could have went. We talked
Will
about this.
Ospreay.
5, 6 different directions. They could have went with Will Ospreay coming out. Big win over Bryan Danielson, getting him over. You became a fan of. I want to see more Will Ospreay. That's what you told me.
I did.
Why the fuck wasn't he on the first segment of the show then? If you want to see more, and you're not going to put the champion out there. Could have put Bryan out there. What's next for Bryan Danielson now?
Yeah, well, the injury.
Could have put fucking Toni Storm out there. She defended her title and won it. Could have put fucking Swerve out there. He is your new champion. He is your leader. He is supposed to be front and center for you. What did they open with? A stupid fucking promo in a car with 3 guys that aren't over and won't ever be over. Don't even get me started on that second fucking thing.
Hold
Stupid.
up. We'll get to the second thing in a second. This is so important.
You can open the show with heels.
You can open a show with heels that are over.
But they're not.
You can open a show with the bloodline. You could open a show.
Will Ospreay's technically a heel. You could have opened the show with him.
You could open a show with WWE could open a show with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
WWE could open a show with Judgment Day. Just don't do it for like 20 straight weeks like they did last year, though. But you could open a show with heels. You're right. But Jack Perry was trash. Was dragged through the mud on social media, on this show. Was dragged through the mud. I understand you have the hot angle. What you do is you promote, hey, coming up, Jack Perry's gonna either respond or Jack Perry try to make it into the arena? Because the whole point at that particular point of the show, he was not an employee.
They took 2 minutes to do this little segment where it should have been just like a walking in. Like, hey, they're
The
here.
Young Bucks are on their way to the arena.
Yeah, watch, top of the hour, whatever it is, teaser. Like, okay, we're going to hear about Jack Perry, why he helped the Young Bucks, all this stuff. Like, you could have done that and then get to the main point at the beginning of your show, which is your champ, which is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They then go to Orange Cassidy getting his ass beat. You're right, he wasn't even on the pay-per-view.
Not on the pay-per-view.
The hottest show they had this year, the best show they had this year, the one that had people talking, that was, hey, what's going to see? You had this guy on the fucking show last week trying to sell this on me to the point where I watched the first 10 minutes of Dynamite for the first time in forever. And this is what happens. Then, that guy, 8 minutes after the top of the hour, cut a promo for a title that's not even on your show. That's also going to be your main event. A title that's not even on your fucking program. What title is more important to you, Tony? The Japan title or the title you made? We obviously know the fucking answer. He's a mark. It's the fucking New Japan title. No, hold on. Then, because I'm going to let you go all the way through. Then these fuckers, they put Swerve, who worked his ass off for all these years after getting cut from WWE and earned to be the top star in that fucking company. One of the best stars they have. They didn't let him say shit. They silenced him on this show.
And their reason, Kyle.
Fuck their reason.
Their reason, let's save it for Saturday.
For a show that gets 200,000 fucking viewers. Assholes. I'd be pissed if I was him too. What the fuck you doing to me, Tony?
This is why.
All this time, this big story to build up to become a champion. And you fucking made me go on fourth, if you count the promo with Moxley. Fourth, after another champion was already on. That's not even with our fucking company.
That's the thing. It's already too many things in this anyway. This is 1 quarter hour. It's already too many things.
That first minute, you could have done Moxley match tonight. You could have done Bucks walking in with Jack Perry. You could have had fucking Orange Cassidy. It's like a little preview. But then at minute 2, it's fucking Swerve Strickland opening the show, cutting a promo on being champ. I finally did it.
Yeah.
Fuck all the haters. Fuck all the bullshit. I'm here. I made this. Now it's Swerve's house. It's my turn to run, right?
Yeah.
But no, I'm fight fucking Kyle Fletcher, who has another title from a program that's not this one, from Ring of Honor.
Oh, like Kyle Fletcher? Kyle Fletcher! That's the first thing that they do.
AEW fans, tell me how this was good. Tell me how any of this was good. Not the people. I don't mind Moxley. I think he's good. I love fucking Swerve Strickland. I loved him in WWE. They mismanaged that. I'll admit it. they can make
But
mistakes.
that's the thing. It's not the people. It's not the people.
It's not.
It's ultimately, at the end of the day.
Tony Khan's running the fucking show.
At the end of the day, it's not the people. Because if WWE had an opportunity, they would swoop up all these guys. So it's not the people.
Well,
with reason.
It's
not the people.
Some of these guys wouldn't
for
go.
the most part.
They wouldn't want to be. The Young Bucks don't want to be managed. Kenny Omega, I think, would. But
It's television. It's so if you open up with your most unpopular people with casual, like Jack Perry, I get the angle.
Who the fuck
He's
is that guy?
not over.
Nobody knows him. Everyone knows CM Punk. And when they bring it
Everyone
up,
saw the video and they assumed, oh, a lot of people saw the pay-per-view. No. You don't do that.
Can I comment on the end of the show too, really quick?
In a second. In a second. And in Orange Cassidy,
Tony's little butt buddy, which I'm sure he's fine.
can you imagine?
But like he's a cruiserweight.
Can you imagine the Monday after WrestleMania? All the stuff that happened, the Avengers ending, everything.
R-Truth is the
all
first
the
one
stuff.
out. And we love R-Truth, but he's not the opener or the headliner. He knows that. It's not his role. Just like Orange Cassidy is not a main eventer. He's not. Nobody fucking cares. He looks like he's 5'2". There's only one guy that's under 5 feet or around 5 feet that I want to watch, and that's Rey Mysterio. Because he's different. He's charismatic. He's been built that way. This guy is not anywhere near that level. He puts his hands in his fucking pockets and doesn't say anything. And copies Roman Reigns' finishing move. That's all he does.
All right, let's get to the ending. I'll go first here.
Yeah, because I need to cool the fuck down. Because the temperature's rising. Pete's looking at the thermostat in the office.
So,
what the fuck?
real quick. When you have nonsense like this, your Q2 rating goes down because the whole point of ratings is sticking through the commercial break. When they go to picture-in-picture, you want people to stick through.
They lost.
Actually, I will bring this up. This actually did irritate me.
Who?
So the fact that Swerve is in the spot that he was, and then the rating goes down, guess who's going to get blamed?
Swerve. He's a champion that doesn't bring in viewers. He's not a draw.
That's how you crap on your talent.
That's how you lose
That's
people.
how you lose people.
Cody.
That is how you you pull the rug underneath your own talent. That is how. You don't let your new world champion talk. You put him as like the fourth priority, and then we're gonna go to break as soon as the match starts.
If you're
so
not gonna
then
have
people
him,
tune out. So Kyle and I tune out.
Yeah.
We tune out, and Swerve's gonna get blamed, and they're gonna say, "Oh, he's not able to bring in new viewers."
People are like, "Why?" So wait, he's the champion. So why is he not? Why are these other guys on before him? People maybe thought, if you're watching, if you're a casual fan, you thought maybe Jon Moxley was a champion because he has this promo where he's talking. Why the fuck
I thought Moxley, the way they had Moxley positioned, you would have thought Moxley had the semi-main event.
He did.
At Dynasty.
Did he? He didn't have a match, did he? He wasn't even on the card. End of the night, end of the show. They have the promo with of course they have the match because they had to defend other titles on the show. The New Japan Championship, Jon Moxley and whoever the fuck Powerhouse Hobbs. Another guy who's talented. They have a match. I'm sure it was fine. And then Young Bucks come out. Well, not Young Bucks. Jack Perry comes out, calls out Tony Khan. Kind of apologizes half-assedly, maybe a little bit, but more says, like, we made history here. We changed wrestling. No, you didn't. And I saw, like, people like Conrad Thompson. Like, the fact that you think that they didn't change because Eric Bischoff was like, they didn't change shit. They didn't change the business. Bischoff is right. They didn't. There's more places for people to work. They can make some money. What did they do that changed? He's like, well, Cody. I'm like, what the? Cody did all this himself. He built the story himself because they were going to write a story for him about this. His story is him, not the fucking promotion. Cody Rhodes would have found a way to WWE again eventually because that was his goal.
Yeah.
All along was to be at WWE and to win that championship.
Can we talk about Tony Khan as an on-air character?
Awful. You look like shit. You're fucking twitching and you're squirming and the fact that Jack Perry doesn't even really apologize and says reinstate me, and he says yeah, give him a hug. What a fucking pussy!
Why would you do
What
that?
what a fucking little bitch!
What?
Who feels sorry for that guy? Who feels sorry for Tony Khan after just being just a gullible fucking loser and saying yeah, come back to my promotion after you did what he did, and then who lets the Bucks keep it? If you get assaulted like that, the first move is, hey, if not only are you suspended, but I'm gonna fire your ass.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna show up to the draft in a fucking neck brace and talk about the angle, how he's got to stay home and recover.
If the ultimate goal,
fucking idiot.
If the ultimate goal, he's in a unique position.
Yeah.
And if the ultimate goal was, hey, let's get an AEW personnel who works in the NFL on television for the draft.
Do you see what I'm saying though with that?
There are ways to execute that and to bring people in.
Have his dad talk. How important is the guy that actually has all the money? To be like, my son was on his show and he got hurt. And I'm very mad at those Bucks, those people that did this to him, the two guys that did this to him, and this Jack Perry that did this to him. And we're going to have words, and we're going to figure. The best thing for AEW after this shit promo and this shit setup they did, he doesn't need to be anywhere, out of sight, gone. No camera time, none of that shit. Don't show up, but have people talk for you. Have your dad show the emotion. Angry, mad, give him the fucking dad eyes. When someone tries to fuck with my kid, fuck you think you're doing? Like, have that real emotion in, not this fake carny bullshit. Turning your neck, dude. You fucking. It's worse. It's make the AEW more laughable. It looks like more of a fucking shit show. I get it.
I would not be proud.
People commented on this, by the way. It's a cheesy wrestling. I get it, but at the same point, this is overboard.
Well, these are the type of things that give pro wrestling a bad name. That give pro wrestling fans a bad name, because for all the goodwill that WWE has done with bringing back The Rock, bringing back different people to be fully invested in professional wrestling, in the product, having Patrick Mahomes at your wrestling show, having different things going on. The NFL is the NFL. The NFL platform is still top of the line. Like, it's a big deal to be acknowledged by the National Football League and to be acknowledged in front of that audience.
With the best player in the league.
Hold on, let me finish this real quick.
You're right.
So, some may look at this as AEW. Others are just say, oh, this is a wrestling guy. This is a pro wrestling guy. And as a representative of pro wrestling, to go out there and to look like a fool, not only is embarrassing to AEW, I don't care if the fans are like, oh, this is great. You look like a fool, not just to AEW. You made pro wrestling look like amateur hour. When a spotlight is there, you think if Triple H owned the New York Jets, you think Triple H has to pull all this? Triple H could talk for himself. Vince, even though now he's in deep trouble, Vince could go out there and do a respectable interview.
Well, towards the end, not so much.
Not towards the
He
end.
was starting to lose it a little bit.
But for 30 years, he could do a respectable interview. He's 5 years in. He has the platform. He has the ultimate platform. And we both know this from working in talk radio, where eventually, if you have somebody who's not in the normal rotation of guests, and you give, they have a great story. Let's give them a platform. Either it's going to go really well, it's like, we got to have it back on. We got to do this again next year. Ain't no way the NFL is going to have this clown on their airwaves next year. And if Jacksonville somehow could go to the Super Bowl or go deep, they won't. But if somehow they did, Tony's going to be begging NFL Network to book interviews for him. They're not going to go to him.
He's going to beg the players to show up on Dynamite. Oh, come bring the Lombardi Trophy to Dynamite. That kind of stuff. It's like, dude, they don't want to go. They'd rather go to WWE. I mean, like, they'd rather go to the Raw in Jacksonville. It's like, dude. And the bigger thing about all this now, too, and this is kind of something brief that I saw today that I gave to your attention. So Warner Brothers Discovery, which is the network that airs Dynamite on TBS and TNT, or they air TNT. I think it's Rampage and Collision or whatever. They're going to be in the fight for their lives for the NBA.
And they're in danger of losing the NBA.
Comcast is putting in an offer because that deal expires soon. Double what Turner has paid for the NBA, and the NBA is obviously TBS. They have NBA. They have MLB as well.
And hockey.
And some hockey, right? Yeah. But NBA is the cash cow. NBA is the big one because they don't have NFL on there. So NBA is the next biggest thing you can get. And if they lose that, either way, this is a lose-lose for Tony Khan. Because let's say they keep the NBA, they outbid Comcast. What fucking money are they going to give to a second-place wrestling show? If you think you're going to get more than what you did before, you're wrong. You're probably going to get less. Second, let's say they lose the NBA. Some people are saying, oh, it's all this money they could throw at AEW. Why? Are we going to get more viewers? How are you going to do this? What's your plan?
There are people.
We're gonna have good wrestling matches, and we have a hardcore fan.
There are people who literally have TNT because they have the NBA, and in a time of cord cutting,
Turner may fall apart at that point.
Yeah,
fuck AEW. Turner will fall apart.
In a time of cord cutting,
yeah.
If Charles Barkley is not on TNT because they lost NBA rights, that. Goodbye to TNT and CBS.
It's going to be a downfall of that entire company, that entire network, and that includes these guys. So right now, Tony Khan is in a bit of a lose-lose when it comes to this. I don't know if there is a streaming platform that he can try and follow up with. Would Comcast be willing to do something with them? It involves Peacock, though, so I don't know if WWE exclusive rights, they probably can't even touch it. I mean, Fox is the only other option.
And Fox
is like, we didn't want to pay for WWE all that money. Why would we want to pay you guys anymore?
Yeah.
They had the product for 5 years, whatever it was, and they were like, not bad, but we don't want to match that. We'll let them go. And WWE obviously leveraged and got a shit ton of money. So
missed out on a big Netflix payday.
They're fucked. I mean, this is not even me being like negative towards AEW. It's me being honest now.
All of this,
they're in a tough spot. They really are.
All of this. It's all negotiation, all negotiating. So if you put yourself out there and you look terrible, what other network executive that television? And I'm of the belief, by the way, that if across professional sports, I'm of the belief that you need a television executive to be either your commissioner or near the top. Like the fact that the Pac-12 is pretty much no more is because they didn't understand television. The Big Ten and the SEC are ran by TV people. Fox runs the Big Ten. ESPN basically runs the SEC. Television is streaming. These are the people that are running entertainment. And if you do not know television, if you do stupid mistakes like this, you're going to be out of a job. You want to know what you remember what Raw did the Monday after WrestleMania, their Q1? That was Rock and Cody.
You're a brand new champion that went over in one of the biggest moments ever in professional wrestling. For AEW, Swerve Strickland, that's one of the biggest moments ever. It's their first black champion. That's a huge fucking deal. He needs to be out there. Give this dude a mic and let him fucking go.
Let him cook.
Hell yeah.
Let him cook. Let Will Ospreay cook. Let somebody who's over and likable, let him cook.
Or have it be important. Like an actual champion. I guess the Bucks are technically tag team champions, or whatever. Again, cool. Great. That's not the point. They're not over, as Double A mentioned before. They're just not. They're not likable. They're heels, but no one really cares. Jack Perry gets a bigger response than them at this point, which is saying something. Like,
But that's that.
it's a shit show, man. And it's unfortunate for the guys and girls that are over there that work their ass off, that don't have a real leader and don't have a real direction. It's just, hey, let's get to the pay-per-views. Let's sell 150,000 buys so we make all our money on that and not give a fuck about storytelling TV. We've had people say in comments, all it needs is a little bit of storytelling. That's the entire fucking show.
That's the problem.
You build your matches on stories. You build your promos on stories. Getting people invested is storytelling.
It's the fundamental problem.
When you can't do
it,
it,
it's like saying, all my football team needs is a quarterback.
You're right. Yeah. And the quarterback right now is Tony Khan. And that fucking idiot can't throw a ball 10 yards, perfect spiral. Can't do it. Sorry. Maybe have the guy that got that sold all his shares for WWE, see if he wants to buy the company. Bring him in. Because at that point, if Tony loses this deal with Warner Brothers, and they either pay all that money to outbid Comcast, or they decide they don't want to give AEW as much money, or if they decide not to even pick them up again, the only person who has contacts in the TV industry right now that's out there that could help and get him something to save his ass is Vince McMahon. And do you really want to be business partners with that guy? Best of luck, Tony. You're going to need it.
That's a good way to end it. I mean, did we miss anything?
Let me check my notes. Let's see. Let's look.
Oh, Darby got hit by a bus.
I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh.
That's not funny.
I shouldn't laugh. It turns out, though, Darby Allin should have climbed Mount Everest because it was safer than being on the streets of New York. But nevertheless.
He saved some, according to legend, he saved somebody. He sacrificed himself.
In the worst game of telephone ever in the public eye, Darby Allin dove in front of a bus to save somebody else. Which, that poor young man can't catch a break, can he?
When you have...
Be less of a hero, Darby, apparently. That's the moral of the story.
And Darby is a perfect example. If you have the right people in the locker room, just to rein them in.
End of the day, like, yeah, that kind of person, all jokes aside,
yeah,
like that kind of person who would do that for someone is the kind of person you want in your locker room. The question is, who's leading the locker room? And when the guy leading the locker room, can you pull up that slide one more time? One more. Is that ass clown? It doesn't matter how many nice guys or how many good guys or how many good girls you have in that locker room that have good intentions, that want to do well. When people like that are in charge of your business, it is what it is.
I'm legit convinced he did not know who Jacksonville picked with that 48th.
Oh, he had no idea. He was too loopy from all the meds because he's hurt. Fucking idiot. He's sitting there laughing, turning his head when they're doing live shots of him at the draft. Rich Eisen's talking about him.
TV. About television. My TV.
Get off. Get off TV. Sell the fucking injury. You're not Jim Cornette in the 90s. Sell it better. At least he fucking couldn't turn. He was like turning his whole body because he couldn't turn his head. He actually sold it correct.
So, real quick before we wrap, we are going to move forward with the Save AEW series.
I feel bad for teasing that. I don't want to do it anymore.
I kind of don't want
How to save AEW. Everyone leave and go somewhere else. TNA is better at this point. I believe in Joe Hendry, by the way.
The problem with even going with this whole Save AEW thing, and why I almost don't even want to do it.
So we're not saving it, we're fixing it, but I get it.
No, but hear me out here, because I think it'll hit home. It almost seems like in order to fix AEW, you got to fix like the minds that's there first before you even change like anything, like legitimately fix anything.
The first,
and it's like
yeah.
and you got people in there. You got people in there who probably, listen to a show like this or listen to fans discuss what we just discussed, and the first thing they'll say, well, we were talked about This is good.
Any press is good press, except when
Any
press doesn't
press-
bring you fucking
Any
ratings.
press is good press. But that's the thing. You got people. Dave Meltzer think this is great.
This is the best shit I've ever seen.
He thinks this is great. You got people in there.
Bet you he's a god in chat
You
rooms.
can't. That's the thing. Tony has the money, and Tony ultimately is an idiot.
No, Shad has the money, and Tony's spending it.
The
like an
people
idiot.
around him, Daniel Bryan and others,
Get it together, man.
Young Bucks. Okay, fine. Well, Young Bucks,
They need to not be EVPs. I'm sorry.
but they are.
Kenny right now, listen, I've been critical of Kenny Omega in the past, but he's been very open recently about his, and I get it, it's kind of like a face turn for Kenny Omega. It's partially planned, I'm sure, too, on his streams or whatever, but a lot of the shit he's saying, it's like, I shouldn't be an MVP. I think there should have been a fight at Brawl Out. Sometimes you just need to fight. You need to get it out of your system, and then we shake hands afterwards and we work together. People are like, yes, that is exactly correct. Like, if Kenny Omega can't wrestle, like if his career is essentially kind of shit kebabbed at this point, and that's truly him, it's truly how he feels. And he's never had this power. He even said, I could never book matches. I was never doing anything. Maybe Kenny Omega needs to be in charge. Because I would listen to Kenny Omega a lot more than I listen to that fucking idiot.
And that's
saying a lot for me because I've been critical of Kenny before.
You have been.
But he's what he's been saying lately has been.
And again, we see it with business. We see it with sports organizations. We'll talk about that with the Browns. You do everything right, but if you got people in there who don't know at the top who don't know what they're doing,
They don't know shit from fuck.
then that's it. That's it. Look at this guy.
God, what a.
I was gonna walk away and put him.
This is good because we have the one shot now, so you won't actually cut in half.
I was gonna walk away. Just walk away and put him in the full shot.
It takes too long for me to get up. He gets up quicker than me, so I couldn't do it. But
Just look at him.
I'm gonna get sick
Look at him.
just looking
You
at
know,
this.
trash talk to the green screen to him directly.
Fuck you. All right, we're good. Dude, good guy. Yeah. Too close. Still close, but not as close. Okay.
All right, we're done.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy.